Welcome to Anchored and Sent. I'm Ken, and let's talk about where God shows up in our everyday life. Hey, friends, welcome back to Anchored and Sent. This is the place where we do it live. There's no second takes, there's not taking anything out. What happens, happens. And honestly, I love that, and I've committed myself to that because we're all just real people talking about a real God. And so I don't want any of this to be scripted or edited. Something happens, it happens. We have flaws, all of us do. And that just makes us who we are. This just makes us real, right? And I really just hope that you will start to see God showing up in every aspect of your life, whether it's staying in the car line or waiting in the car line and you're getting really frustrated and but something happens and it calms you, right? Or you're like running around the house looking for your keys, but you prayed about it and all of a sudden you find them. Sometimes it's the little things, and then sometimes it's the bigger things. But I really hope this becomes like an interactive thing where you share your God sightings, and you can send those in at anchored and sent at gmail.com. That's anchored AND uh, sent at gmail.com. I try to post that in the video or in the chat, but you can also post them on the chat if you like. But I can't wait to start sharing more of those. So, anyways, here we go. First of all, last episode, I was so blessed to be able to do my first, I guess, co podcast, having somebody else on, and wow, Stephen just brought a lot of encouragement and insight, and man, I know it went for a full hour, and it just for me, it felt like it flew by, and it was just a great blessing to have someone on the show, and I hope to have him again and others on the show, just sharing uh, how God is working in their life. So, one thing I wanted to tell you just a little bit from the Army that we were talking about, I just want to kind of share this is like, I had an amazing team, first of all. I had a amazing group of 5 teens, that I got to be with all week where we became family and we did all these, work sites together, we cleaned together, we cried together, we told jokes, we won't go into all the stuff that they'll probably tell you I did, but we had a good time, right? It's like your small little family, during the week, and you don't always know who you're gonna get in your group, and man, I just had a really great group that I really connected with. And so when we're on these random drives, they soon found out how random I can be or squirrel or what have you, right? But we passed a sign in Madisonville, Texas, and it said premium grass. Now they were thinking like it's premium, like what makes it better than like normal grass. And I'm the one, the mature one, right? The pastor is thinking premium grass. What does that mean? It's like in the 70s, like that their, grass you smoke is better, and man, don't forgive me, right? I mean, please forgive me because, man, I tell you that's just where my mind drifted, and so I thought maybe they were talking about that kinda context, but no, they were like, "What makes it premium? It's just grass." And I was like, "Oh, there we go." And then I was thinking, I was like, "You know what? If you put premium in the front of anything, it just makes it sound better." I mean, think about it. I have premium ice cream. I have premium baldness. Or man, this car is premium. Or I have a premium car. I mean, if you just put premium in front of anything from premium laptop, this is a premium podcast. Uh, this is you get it, right? I mean, there is nothing you can't put premium in front of it just doesn't, make it sound better, and that was an ongoing thing, right? All week, we would see a sign like Dairy Queen and say, "Ooh, premium Dairy Queen." So it was a thing, right? And, another thing that I do is always like to say, "Bruh." That's just how I talk to people sometimes. It's like, "Bruh, really?" Or, "Bruh, check this out," or, "Bruh this," or, "Bruh that." And so we were thinking, in my head, I was thinking, "Okay, premium bruh." and we came up with a word that I hope one day is a word that is taught in all the elementary schools to spell, and this word is brumium. Because if you put bruh and premium together, right, you get brumium. So I'm telling you, if you one day, I can just imagine this is like these kids are at like a spelling bee, right, and they're in the first grade, and these are the higher level kids, right, and they're like, okay, the last word to spell, which is usually like the toughest, is like the deal breaker, right? And they say Romeo. I mean, it's great, right? Like, who in the world can spell that? I don't know. It was written on the side of my truck, which is still there, and I don't know. You just kind of guess at that things, but so it's just amazing how sometimes you just have a fun time and it just sticks with you throughout the whole thing. And anyways, I just wanted to kind of share that yeah, we're bromiums now, and we actually reached out and figured a way to stay in contact just to check in with each other and pray with each other throughout the year. So that's pretty awesome. And I would tell you, man, I had the most premium team. It really was. But so I wanted to think about something. My son, he shared something. It took me a minute to remember because it was earlier in the week, and it was a God sighting. It really was. And he told me I could share. Now I'm probably gonna butcher the whole thing, and actually he listens to this. I'm so excited. Like he subscribes and he actually listens through Spotify, and he's probably my only subscriber. But man, it's cool to know that he's on here, right? But one thing that he shared was like, Dad, it's weird because, you know how, you always have, like, just random people just open up about things to you, like, it doesn't matter, like, where you're at, or you're not even trying to even deal with that, you're in a waiting line somewhere, you're standing in Walmart, and people just wanna open up with all their business to you, and I said, "Yeah?" And I said, "Yeah, that's kind of a blessing and a curse sometimes, right?" But he goes, "And it happens to me too," and this is the first time I've ever heard that, like, I didn't know he had like this gift, you could call it, right? Or maybe we just look like sucker on our forehead, like, hey, talk to me. We'll listen. We got nothing else to do, right? I don't know what it is, right? Or maybe we look like bromiums. I don't know, right? But he shared with me that recently I can't remember exactly where he was sitting and waiting. But I remember him saying like this guy sat beside him and he just started like spilling some really dark stuff, meaning not really dark, but something very personal to this man. And he was just talking about, oh, I remember what happened. Somehow they were in a parking lot, maybe getting gas, something like that, and or they were in a waiting room, whatever it was, right? But they looked at each other, and my son goes, "I felt like he was just, like, staring at me, so I just stared back and I locked in." And I was like, "Okay, I got you. I'm gonna stand up, man. I got you. I'm gonna stare you back down, right? Come on." And that's when he asked him, which church he goes to. So he's like, "Why?" And I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's like, just by staring at each other. I think the guy said he liked a nice guy, so he assumed he went to a church, and that led into him saying, like, he's been through some really tough stuff, like drugs and all these different things. It was I can't, just a really dark time in his life, and he was just getting back to going to church and trying to make the right choices. And there was so much in that station and that story my son shared, but I was like, "What did you do?" Right? And he just said he listened, and at the end of it, he was just like, "Man, really proud of you, keep it going," that kinda thing, and then, that was that. But what a God moment to be there for that person to, talk to someone, get that off his chest. Maybe he just needed somebody to hear it so the burden didn't feel so heavy, right? But that's God, it's crazy. We don't know why he looked friendly or why he started talking to my son, but he did. And, I praise God that my son was able to take time and listen to him, even though it's probably awkward and something he just didn't feel like dealing with. And, one more thing on that is, he called me too, another time. He's like, "Man, yeah, God has a sense of humor." And I was like, "Yeah, he sure does." He made bromiums, and he had no idea what bromiums are, but anyways, he goes, "No." He goes, uh, he was stressing, right, with this new job. I don't know if I mentioned it in earlier podcast, but he was really stressing about this job he really, really wanted, and he basically got the verbal approval, and he was really excited, and the first thing he had to do was go take the P test, right, the drug test, and so he went, and man, I love my son to death, but he was nervous when he got there and probably made him look really suspicious, but he was like, "Man, I drink Spark and I do this, and I just don't wanna, have anything that causes me to have a bad test or result," and he was asking all these questions, which to me, that's a red flag. Like, why is this guy trying to explain himself just in case something shows up, right? Guilty. But it sounded like they were patient with him and what have you, but so we did the test. I'll fast forward, and, uh it's been a few days, and my son's like, "Oh gosh," right? He's thinking to himself, "What in the world happened? I haven't heard anything. Uh, do I do I call the job and see if they got it? But then that maybe that would just make me sound really guilty, or like I'm hiding something, or I'm like, oh, did I get it? Like I think there's gonna be something wrong. Or should I just call the person that collected it and did the testing?" So he decided he would call where he did the testing. So he called them, and, of course, they answered, "We cannot give you that information. You gotta ask your employer." So now, he's thinking, "Oh gosh, I really don't wanna ask. That's just gonna make me look bad." But he didn't have patience like me, right? He didn't have the premium patience. He has more of the bromium kinda patience, right? And so, uh, I kid you not, as he's thinking this through, he got a phone call, and it was actually, his employer. And they were asking him about, you got kinda like a check-in, right? Like, did you got your promotion or your, offer letter by now, and yada yada, which he didn't, and so they talked about that. And I guess, Gavin was like, "Okay, this is a great time. This makes sense to just ask them if they got everything." So, he had a chance to ask them if they got the P test, and he actually said, "Yeah, we received it. Everything's good." And so, of course, my son was relieved. It was so funny because he was, like, worried about Spark he takes and all these things, and I was like, I even got to the point where I like, should I be concerned, man? Of course, I'm not, right? But I'm like, "Why are you so worried?" But, that's something he gets from me, is that both of those things is that people will openly just start talking to him, and, also there's just no patience. And what he did, when he was going through waiting for the actual final acceptance letter, is he was praying to God about one of the probably the most dangerous prayer you can pray, and he asked God that h he can learn patience in the process. And I will tell you, just this week, he finally got the offer letter, he signed it, and he finally felt it was like he had pen to paper, it was a definite, and guess what? He's gotta wait like 2 months before his start date. So it's like, "Okay, you prayed for patience, so, here you go. You got 2 months." And, I mind you, I think this will be a learning experience for him. I just hope he doesn't get so frustrated he does something crazy, right? Like, throw somebody off the front of a boat like he did me, right? But, uh, I just wanted to share something today, with you that's been going on, and something that I just noticed, God has connected some things, and it's been rather, quick, honestly. And so, it all started with my dad calling me one day, and he told me about something. Oh, and I wanna stop right there just for a second. I just wanna say this before we even get into this, is that my God sighting that really, really moved me this week, I mean, really moved me, was a box on my front porch. A box on my front porch. And so we'll get back to that single moment, but I wanna kinda talk about what led up to that. And that does start with my dad calling me one day, and he told me about his church group really, got a lot out of and enjoyed joining this small group in Madisonville. It's called Sleep in Heavenly Peace, where the church was invited to come together and build beds that would later be delivered to children on the floor that don't have beds. And he said, "Man, I just got to tell you about this because this is right up what you like to do. It's people coming together for a good cause and helping somebody, like UMRme and things like that, right?" And so I had never heard of it, and I Googled it, and I watched one video, and I was hooked, right? And so I clicked start a chapter, I mean, the same day, and then instantly I started filling out paperwork and yada, 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 and kinda speed through that. Right I think I got it sent in maybe late that night, but that next morning, it's like they called instantly and asked me about the application. So, anyways, we're going through all of that, and we had some talks and things, and finally, I just asked, like, I'm in Houston. There's probably like a ton of these all over the place, but I would really like to help my local community right here where I've been born and raised, and have a real connection to the community and understand them. And anyways, he goes, "Well, we have one area in Houston that currently has it was like 4 to 900 beds that will not get." Their application won't even be processed because nobody is covering these zip codes right now. So I said, "Okay, can you show me, like, the area?" And I kid you not, and I hope I can find a photo to post for those who watch, the video that I can put up here. Uh, he showed me the shaded area that is exactly right here. It is the area from where I work on the docks, to where my first church was, to where I raised a family, to where I moved now, all the way to where I served in ministry at a church, in the Lake Houston area. I mean, it is like I looked at that and I was just quiet. He's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "You're not gonna believe this. That's the exact area where I have been living in and working in and done ministry and had, interactions with all kinds of people," right? That was my area, that was my bubble, and that's the area you have shaded. So at that moment, I said, "Okay, I don't know what it's gonna take, but I know this has gotta be from God," right? So, we'll fast forward all the stuff in between because there's been a lot of, like, training videos, paperwork, frustrations, and that thing, like starting anything, right? And we're not fully up and running yet, but we're so close. And but what we can do right now is start collecting bedding as a delivery hub for a main chapter. Meaning, right now, what we're going to do is help the big chapter who already builds the beds, who's already funded. They'll deliver the beds to us, and then we put volunteers together to cover zip codes that they're currently not covered, which are the ones that we are going to be in. So we're like called the Crosby Hub right now, right? And which is amazing because the hard part of that, they're already established. But the one thing that we have to get is the bedding for it, a pillow, twin set, complete set. The the fitted sheet, the main sheet, the comforter, and then the pillowcases, right? And a mattress cover, that protects the mattress, protects the kids, right? And it all has to be new. And I was like, "Okay, cool." So just this week, I posted, our goal by the end of August is to get 50, twin bed sets, 50 pillows, and 50, uh, mattress covers, so that we can deliver 50 beds on our first delivery. Now, that was well, let me just say this. I got a confession to make, and maybe you can relate, maybe not, but I am a fix it guy. Like if there is a problem, I find a solution. I just want to take care of it, take care of the problem and move on, right? Anywhere from my doc career as a manager, I take care of problems and we move on. In ministry, I just want to take care of whatever issue that's taking place and move on. And that's just me. I wanna fix things 'cause I want people to be happy. I want people to, just be not have any issues or whatever, right? And so that's hard for me. And this just got real when I realized that I am doing a lot to get this started, but there's no way possible I can do this alone. It's going to take a group of people. I can't just go slide a credit card and say, "Oh, I'll just take care of the 50 twins sheets and all that, just so it's done." No, I it's all nonprofit. Everything's volunteers. I'm going to be volunteering when we deliver the beds. It's all volunteers, and every single donation, every single blanket, every single board. I mean, every single part is absolutely all done with donors. It's a nonprofit, right? And when we all the work and the labor, it's all donated. So for me, I had a plan to make sure that no kid in my town sleeps on the floor, but I don't have the sources. That's new for me. And so I was like, the only way we can even do this is we got the beds covered. But we don't have the blankets. And it hit me like, I might not be able to do this. I don't even know that many people. Like, this is going to have to be a monthly thing. And so I did post like our goals, and somebody had a great idea to do an Amazon wish list. We put that out there, and like a Walmart list. But, anyways, I threw it out there just one time. And the next day, when I came to my front porch, there was a package. And honestly, I thought it was something that my wife ordered, right? It's normal to have a package on my front porch. But when I looked at it, normally I see her name on it. It said SHP, Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And so I opened it, and it was the first complete bed sheet. And I can't tell you what that meant to me. One, that it gives me hope that this is going to continue. But two, when I saw that box and I opened it, it was like, there is a child right now, even as we're doing this podcast, even as you're listening to this, is sleeping on the floor right now. But because somebody donated this set, that kid will soon not be on the floor. Wow. And the next day, there were 3 packages. And then the next day, there were 3 huge Walmart bags, and they were probably contained 3 to 15 I mean, 13 to 15 pillows. I haven't even had time to inventory it to, post what God is doing. But every time I see that, it gives me hope, and it also tells me that anything in life I can do myself. I must lean on God. I must surround myself with others. And that was an eye opener for me because I'm not going to just fix something automatically, as hard as I try. And so this is going to be a test. It's going to continue to be a test for me because I want to make sure every single child's off that floor. Is that possible? I think it is. I can't do it all at once, and I can't do it by myself. It's going to be tough. And even now when I'm talking, I'm like, maybe this is just the newness, the hey, let's get this started. And then it fades because you can't count on the friends you have to donate every single month, right? That's a lot to ask. And so I'm hoping and praying that I find ways and just people talking to each other to where we can start presenting what we're doing to help these kids, this mission with local churches and organizations and businesses in this area, right? To where we can have committed monthly donations, and I pray it's going to happen. And we're just getting started, but I just want to say, like, I'm nervous about it, and I still am because I want this to be a success, not for me, but I want these kids off the floor, and I cannot do that by myself. And so this is going to be a big test. And as I'm walking through this with y'all, you can see how I feel like God was a part of the whole thing, from my dad telling me, from me just checking it out, knowing that I got a lot on my plate, to having doubt, to going through frustrations, to posting something, to having that first package. I'm just blown away. I'm telling you, God just works. He works, and we gotta trust in Him. And this doesn't mean we trust Him and it's gonna land on our laps. We've gotta trust in a plan, pray about it, pray that it's coming from God, and then I promise you, He is going to be present through all of it. He will be there, and you gotta trust in that. Whether it's successful or it fails, start with prayer and then trust, and God will be in that. And so, it's easy to say, but promise you, it is not easy to do. And so, this is a big test for me, and I'll keep you posted here and there on how we're doing with that. And if you're interested in partnering or finding out how you can donate a pillow or a twin set, we're looking for male and female sets from 3 to 17 years old, and we take anything. One mattress cover, one pillow. Uh, we'll take it all because that's one part of a kid not sleeping on the floor. School's about to start. You get good sleep, you get better grades, you feel human because you're not on the floor. And then the times I have volunteered to do this just to get some experience before going to the next part was that it's not a joke. Some of these homes are nice, but those kids are on the floor with just a blanket. Sometimes I've even seen an air mattress with like seven siblings sharing it, right? And so my sinful self is like, "Hey, I mean, if they can afford this nice place, why can't they afford a bed?" And that's where God, like, puts you in check, right? He's like, "Yeah, maybe they're putting their money in the priority of having AC and a nice home, and that's their main priority, and then their kids are sleeping on the floor because at least they have a safe environment, and this will just give them hope and that extra help." Uh, for this family, and also tells his child like, "Hey, you are important, you are noticed, and we wanna make sure we take care of you." And the whole thing is just so beautiful. It's so I can't explain it, and I'm starting to see, God's hand in it, through me for this party, Houston. I mean, it's a nationwide organization, they've already started this, and I'm just gonna do my part here, and that's the body of Christ. Everybody doing what they can, where they do their everyday lives, where they spend their everyday lives. That's your mission field. You don't have to go overseas, you don't have to compare what other people are doing. You have a community where you're in now, and you can join in with others to just help each other. So now I'm just preaching, right? But I'm just so passionate about this, and I've seen God show up because I know I there's nothing I could have done to get those donations, and that's probably one of the hardest things that I'm gonna have to do is ask people to help, and so we'll see what happens with that. And so I'm thinking about a verse that came to mind is that, if you look at John chapter 15, Jesus says this, and I love this whole section where Jesus is talking about the vine and the branches. But hear this verse right here. It just really hit home. This is John chapter 15, verse where is this? Verse 4 through 5, I believe. I have terrible sight, and anyways, got tiny writing. But it says this, and this is the word of the Lord. It says, "I am the vine, and you are the branches. If any remain in me, and I remain in them, they produce much fruit." Here's where it hits. But without me, they can do nothing. That's where it hit me this week. Sometimes I am so guilty of coming up with a great idea and just forgetting to take time before doing anything and just pray. And when I turn that around and I say, okay, God, show me a door, show me something that you want me to do. And then something like your dad calls you about something that you're passionate about. And then you pray about, well, is this it? Is this what, is this from you? It changes differently than planning events and things that I've done in church and youth groups to try to expand, right? And not only do it's more feels like more like God's plan because I can't do this alone and there's no way I can do any of it. And so I'm leaning on him, I'm praying on him, and I'm leaning on others to come together just out of kindness, out of love. And we can't even talk about Christianity or anything when we're there delivering the beds because I understand completely. Uh, the organization just don't want to be tied to a certain religion, or they feel like the client is obligated to or forced to join some kind of church or something. I mean, I would love that, but I get it. Like the main focus is kids not on the floor. Simple, so important, and I get it. But I will tell you this, it doesn't matter if you're telling them about Jesus, praying with them or not. Jesus is in that room because you are serving someone in need. And Jesus tells us, when you do these things for them, you're doing it for me. I am telling you, you don't have to say anything. The power of love and selfishness and people coming together to help each other, God speaks for himself. And people may not know what it is, but they are feeling that warmness that can only come from God. Friends, I don't know where this journey is going to end up. I don't know anything except that I know that I am trying to be obedient and I'm leaning on others. I'm leaning on God to make sure kids are off the floor. And so it's going to be a challenge. And so I just want to encourage you guys. As always, of course, always be on the lookout for where God's at work. And I hope when you see it or make that connection, you share that with me. I would love to share that with others because that's our testimony. Those are the chapters we're writing now. And so let's just show each other how God is active and doing things. So like I said, if you want to be a part of just this journey, just let me know. It's the same email, anchored and sent at gmail.com or in the comments, and I'll show you how you can do that. Don't feel pressured. It's just a way you can give back. And then, please just be confident and share in your own story where you see God. If you're a teen listening, a child, a family, uh, and you're just don't know if it's good enough or not. There's nothing too big or too small that I would not share or would not want to hear from you because God is in it. I promise. So look, that's my favorite part of this whole thing is being able to share where God's working. I hope that you see how God is working in this part of my chapter or journey on this just small section of my life. And I hope that you can see it through my son, how he experienced some things that could only come from God. You've heard it through Steven. You heard it from one of my friends that typed in about a tough time she's going through and how it was a perfect time for a Bible study. Friends, share your stories. Let's just share. That's what's different about this. We're just talking about how God is working. So I just want to say thanks again for hanging out. Um, Man, I don't know how long it's been. I'm probably I don't know, and I don't really care because this is God speaking through me. And if you're still with me, thank you. And I hope that in some way, you're inspired to at least ask yourself, where can I see God today? Because I want to share it, or just there's just an awakening, this opening, or maybe it's an encouragement that uh, even when times are tough, God's going to work through those, even though we don't see the big picture. We're going to lean in, we're going to trust it, and we don't worship a God of the past. Every single thing we read about that God did, he still does today. That's it. We just need to recognize it and share it and lean on God, and we'll see him just do these crazy things. I promise. But it all starts with prayer. Every single thing you do, you should start with prayer. So, friends, again, thanks for hanging out. I just love spending time with you. I really do. I wish you were like right across this table and we were just talking. But I feel like this is just a way for us to communicate, and the only way I'll hear back from you is if you send those in, right? And so, if you like the podcast, or you're encouraged, or feel like somebody might, want to share their stories, please share the link. Tell them to subscribe. And this is just to be a part of something, right? Uh, and to where we can all come together and just discover God in ways that none of us have discovered ever, because every single person has a different life, and God is in the everyday things that ordinary people do, and it looks different for everybody. And I just love to hear how you experience in Him personally. So this week, as always, I pray that you stayed anchored in Christ and that you be sent into the world, into your everyday life, wherever you go. And when you're sent, your eyes are open, looking for where God's at work. Does that make sense? Be sent. Get out there. Go do what you normally do. Baseball games, work. We're supposed to do those things. Those are all gifts from God. But just try to open your eyes when you're sitting there and look around, and maybe you see God at work. Maybe you have that tugging to pray for somebody. Maybe somebody will talk to you. It's just amazing. I hope y'all have a blessed week. I hope I hear from you about your God sightings. And yeah, let's just be a community where we share God. Because I'm just this bald headed dude with all these flaws who absolutely loves Jesus, the premium Jesus. And I want to hear how you experience him too. All right. Well, y'all just be anchored in Christ, be sent, and keep your eyes open. And we will catch up next week. God bless you all.